Hey everybody, welcome back to Willson Builds. If you're new here, I'm Zach. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're returning from a previous video or my Instagram, your support is greatly appreciated, and thank you for showing up to today's video. Today, it's gonna be a bit more of an exciting video. We're gonna do a little bit of body work on the frame, then we're gonna move into priming the frame and working a little bit more on the body. And fingers crossed, we can get our base and clear coat on both the frame and the body today. That's what I'm hoping. I guess I say fingers crossed because I don't know how far we're gonna get there. The body work on the frame might take a little bit more time. We're already finished the body work on the body, so we'll see where it goes. Anyways, guys, let's get into the video. All right, guys, so now that we have the frame and epoxy, I'm gonna just go around and do a little bit of body work. There's a lot of areas that I have made, so you know, from grinding welds or something like that, where it's a little uneven, so I'd like to make those smooth out. From like, I guess like here back, it won't really matter because the body's gonna be on and you're only gonna see the imperfections from the underside of the car. So I'm not gonna overly focus on those areas. If there's a really bad spot though, I will tackle it, but I'm mostly worried about the front and kind of the lower, upper, and insides of our box. So we'll do a quick like perimeter of body, sand it down, see how it looks, and then we'll flip this over. I don't have anything to roll this chassis like a rotisserie. So what I'll be doing is I'll be flipping it, painting the bottom, flipping it, painting the top, and then we'll go kind of onwards like that with our base and clear as well. So not a huge deal. I mean, I didn't put clear on the 55 because we did a 2K, so we didn't have to do clear. But since this is an exposed frame, we're definitely gonna have to do clear coat. So not a big deal, but just an extra step we have to take. It'd be really easy, however, if I did have a rotisserie, but we don't. So we're gonna have to do some flipping and flopping, but not a big deal. Anyways, let's get, I guess, iron down some areas that need some body work, and then we'll start mixing some body filler and make it smooth. All right, so essentially what I'm gonna be doing is just taking my good old-fashioned Sharpie and just going along the frame. There are some places where I'm gonna need to touch up anyways and just sand, but the side rails are actually really good. There's a little spot right there, so we're just gonna mark that. And I'm just looking at the lighting coming down the side here. There's a run right there. And then where we welded in our bolts for, or our spots for our shock mount, we're gonna have to definitely touch up. So I'm just gonna kind of do that. And then we'll do this whole area. And then the top is a different story because there's a few marks there. But I'm gonna sand those down first. But I'm gonna, yeah, no, we'll sand those down first before I mark them. But I'm just gonna run up the side of the frame here because that's kind of what it's exposed to the eye. And the bottom's okay. Top is definitely gonna need a sanding. The cross members are definitely gonna need a sanding. There's a spot right here where the frame touched the ground when we were moving it. And again, I'm just looking down the side to see if I can see any imperfections with the light. And realistically, I'm gonna miss probably a few of these in the final product, but similar area here, there, and then looking pretty good. So two main areas of focus on the side rails is where we welded in our mounts for our shock and headlight mount, just because there was some grinding involved to make it smooth and so on and so forth. So we're gonna focus on those, but first I'm gonna get my sander out and just go over the tops and see how smooth I can get it. And then we'll focus on that with our body filler as well, but I'm mostly worried about the sides right now. But anyways, let's get the sander out and see kind of what we're dealing with for roughness. Okay, so the body starts I'd say right about here. So as long as this is forward really good, I'm not too worried about the top under the body, and the sides from about here back are really good anyways. So I'm really just gonna focus here forward. All right, so it started raining pretty good outside, so I brought the frame back inside, wiped off all the body dust, and now we're gonna tackle the bottom. This is the bottom of the frame. We're gonna tackle the bottom rails with Scotch-Brite, get everything kind of smoothed down and ready for primer. I'm just gonna use a spray primer. This is a 3-in-1 primer, which is 1K. It goes on really thick. It's very, very similar to what we're spraying out of the gun, and this will just allow me to get into the little places that my gun can't. So I'm not too worried, and yeah, we'll just do everything we can with this. This is a big can, so hopefully we can do a lot and get everything good to go. Hopefully it stops raining, but if not, it is what it is. We'll have to do it tomorrow. So let's get this all scotched down. Is that a word? Scotched? Scotch-Brite down, and then we'll get it hopefully into some primer on the bottom here, so we can focus then on the top. We'll flip it back over, put base, flip it back over, base top. Doing some extra steps because we don't have the right stuff for the frame, like rotisserie. Anyways, so I'm dragging this on. Let's get this sanded. All right, so we got everything set up now. I'm just gonna do a quick coat of our primer in the can on the bottom and all the little nooks where, you know, the motor mounts and the body mounts and stuff like that. Get everything really good. So give this a shake for a few minutes before we get that ball rolling around, which takes a long time in these big cans. So bear with me and we'll start spraying paint as soon as we get this loosened up. All right, so we got it loosened up now, as you can hear. So I'm just gonna come in here and do all the little hard to reach places that will be really hard to do with the gun. I'm gonna start in the back and move on forward. All right, so it's actually been a few days. I've been moving where I've been living, and yeah, had to bring a 55 to storage, so that's in storage now. So we have a lot more room to work on the Roadster frame. So the plan today is to just spray the top of the frame rails and everywhere we missed with our cans. But maybe we get some base on today too. I have to mask up, you know, my signs and a couple tools and stuff like that so it doesn't get that weird overspray. But other than that, should be pretty easy and good to go. Okay, as you can see, all our plastic is moving. So that means there's airflow pushing that way. So really good. I'm gonna give this one more wipe. I have our paint mix down there and essentially ready to go. But one more just quick safety wipe and then we'll be able to start putting a coat down. All right, so full coverage now. There is a little bit of orange peel here and there. That being said, I was just gonna spray our base on right after this, but seeing that, I would like to sand in a few places, just to get that even. I don't want to spray over orange peel. That being said, we have a body outside that is ready for base coat. So I guess we can paint it. I can't see why not, but we'll have to wait a little bit so we can scoot this over. I could probably do it right now, but I'd rather have someone here to help me, and there's no one at my shop right now. So I'll wait for that, and then we'll move it over, let it dry for, actually I'll probably move it towards the heater, let it dry for, I don't know, a day, see how tacky it is tomorrow, give it that nice sand just to smooth out a couple spots, and then probably put base on it tomorrow. Like I said previously though, I have to flip it so we can spray the bottom and then flip it back to spray the top. Not a huge deal, but I would like it dry so we can touch it. So either or, we're gonna have to wait a little bit. So let's give this an hour or two, push it over beside the heater overnight, and then I'll scoot the body in here and hopefully, fingers crossed, start spraying it today. Okay, so it's the next day. Body's in, frame's ready to go. The places where I was a little concerned with the orange peel actually flattened out pretty good once it dried, so no concern anymore. Couple days prior, I didn't film this, but I painted the wheels and the firewall. So we're gonna have to mask that really good so we don't get any paint kind of overspray or drips into there. So I'm gonna mask that now. I've already given the car a really good wipe down, but I'm gonna do it again so we can get fingerprints off anywhere where contaminated it putting this tape on. So anyways, let's get masking the firewall and then we'll do our last checkovers and start painting this thing. All right, now that everything's masked off, we're almost ready to start mixing and then spraying. It's really warm in the garage right now. I got the heat on. I'll get the fans on in a moment. I'm just putting on my latex gloves so I don't have to get any oils off my hands onto the frame when we go to flip it. So I'm just gonna set it up here so we can flip it. So I think it was actually easier last time to take the front axle stand out here. Okay, we're ready to mix our paint now, so I actually have to find a good spot to do this because all my tables are covered. I'll be right back. All right, we had some technical difficulties here. My mic wasn't on, so what I'm basically saying is we're ready to paint. I wiped down the frame, and let's get started.
So the paint on the frame is drying perfectly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip the frame, get as much coverage as possible. And then when we go do our clear coat, the only real thing we'll be missing out is these bottom pieces. So instead of flipping it over again and doing clear coat, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna try and get as best coverage as possible. And then when it dries, if we haven't covered the bottoms, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna either mix a new coat or mix a new batch, or just go get a can of 2K and just run it just on the bottoms just for coverage protection, because realistically you're never going to see the bottom, and if it gets enough coverage where I'm not too worried about it, we'll see then. But if not, we'll just flip the frame when the clear coat's dry and go over it again. But anyways, let's get this flipped over so we can paint the top, and then we'll do another coat on the body and probably one more coat on here, making 3 coats in total, and then let it sit for, I don't know, an hour, hour and a half, come back and we'll clear coat everything.
Okay, so we're gonna do our third and final coat on both the body and the frame. I've waited about 20 to 30 minutes between the second to third coat. Usually I do my dusting, wait about 10 minutes, do the first coat, wait another 10 minutes, do the second coat, and then let it kind of dry, settle, and then we can see all the areas we have to focus on, and then do those for the third coat. I've always done that. I don't know if that's a proper way to do it, but every motorcycle tank, pair of wheels, cars I painted, I've always done that. It works out pretty good. So there's perfection in imperfection, and that is a perfect example of this car. There's dents, dings, crappy bodywork, all of the above, but that's what makes this car perfect to me. I'm really liking what I'm seeing. It shows that it's a metal, all steel, original steel body, except for the front cowl, of course. And I don't know, the little imperfections make this a perfect car to me. Obviously, not you guys, maybe you guys, but overall, really happy with how it's turning out. The bodywork we did, double thumbs up, and everything else. So there's gonna be dents. It's not a perfect car, and that's totally okay for me, who owns it, who's driving it, who built it. If someone wants to say, oh, your car has a dent or this and that, you can't impress everybody. Anyways, let's get this final coat on. I'll stop rambling here. All right, guys, we just did our third and final coat of our base red, and I am very, very happy with the coverage we got. The finish is looking good. It's revealing good bodywork, but also little stuff like that and some little imperfections in the hood that we left purposely. But overall, it is looking dynamite. I am super, super happy with the finish. And if you look at the dents, that's a you problem, because I'm really happy with the body, really happy how it turned out, frame as well. So we'll let this sit for a few hours, then we'll come back, spray our clear, let it dry overnight. But overall, guys, stoked. I'm beyond stoked. This is the color I've been thinking about for a long time, and the fact that we're here is amazing. So give it an hour, maybe 2 hours to dry, hit it with some clear coat, leave it overnight. Hopefully see the finished product tomorrow, but super stoked. All right, so the base actually turned out really good. It's been drying for about 2 hours now. There's no major issues I've noticed walking around it. did a couple of close looks at a few things, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I'm gonna start mixing the clear. We'll do maybe, I don't know, 3, maybe 4 coats, and then we'll come back tomorrow morning and assess, and fingers crossed, you'll be good to go. All right, let's get her done.
All right, so we just did our dust coat. Now we can do official coat 1, go a little heavier, and we'll assess after this coat. Okay, so we just did our second coat. I didn't film it, sorry about it, but we're just about ready to do our third coat. As you can see, it is looking real shiny, a little bit of orange peel, but throughout the process of doing this, I've had orange peel in every stage, and it kind of mellowed out as it dried out. So, not too worried. No runs yet. Super happy about that. And yeah, let's get this third coat on. I'm really happy how this is going. We'll do another coat on the frame and a good coat on the body. Close the garage, or air it out, then close the garage, and then leave the heat on all night and let this cook for, I don't know, 12 hours.
All right, guys, it's red, it's cleared, there's hairs and other specks in the clear, but that's easy to get out. The hard part's done. I think we have one run maybe, if it's not, I think it was over there. Anyways, there's probably more, but I haven't seen them yet. But this is 4 coats total. I just did a breeze over coat on some places I wanted to get a little bit more coverage, but painted, done. Obviously we still have to wet sand and polish in some areas. Obviously we're gonna have orange peel. We have a cheaper gun, it's just what happens, but stoked. So I'm gonna let it air out for a few more minutes, turn the heat up and leave it, and we'll come back tomorrow and see how we've dried up. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, guys, body and frame are painted. Super happy with the results. I mean, yes, dust specks, yes, orange peel. Can we fix it? Totally. Can we wet sand and polish it in a month's time, 2 months' time, 3 months' time? We sure can. It'll be even more dry then. Don't have to worry about any issues. But then, and it's such a small car with different sections, we can repaint in certain areas if we have to. Do I think we have to? Probably not, no. But realistically, we could start putting the car together in the next week or so. It is dry to the touch now, and I'm super happy with it. I'd like to give a special shout out to all the staff at Rondex, Jim, Buck, Crystal. They always help me out with the paint, and you know, they're always on the phone when I'm asking questions about the procedures and mixing and stuff like that. Lee from LG Speed and Custom, Frank, they're always pushing me to do paint and always convinced me it's not that hard. And realistically, it's not. I did this in my garage, you know, with okay air circulation, okay heat. Just put up the plastic sheathing Yes, I'm going to be cleaning the floors and the walls and everything in here from dust, but it is what it is. But anyways, guys, I'm going to call the video there. This was an exciting video. I didn't think we would get this far, but the car is painted, and I'm pretty sure I'm still in a bit of awe that it is painted, because realistically, it's that much closer to being done now, and that's huge. So we can start putting the chassis back together. That'll probably be in the next video, but overall, really excited, and I hope you guys are too. So if you saw something you like, dislike, something I can improve on, if you want to see something specifically done to the Roadster, if you want to roast me for painting in my garage or what have you, please do so below. And while you're doing that, don't be afraid to hit that like and subscribe and notifications to know when we're uploading, which is every single Friday. But anyways, guys, I have some major cleaning to do, and yeah, gonna look forward to doing the video of wet sanding and polishing this thing and getting it really good. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you the next time on Willson Builds.